Welcome back to Becoming Ultimate Masters. Today we're doing a deep dive into something pretty cool. Personal magnetism. We're going way back for this one.
Yeah.
To a book from 1913.
Oh, wow.
Called The Art and Science of Personal Magnetism by Theron Q. Dumont.
Okay.
Now, you might be thinking, a book that old.
Right.
But trust me,
Okay.
the ideas in here are surprisingly relevant, even today.
Interesting.
It's all about those invisible forces between people, when they connect.
Like that first impression.
Yeah, exactly. And how you can kind of use that to your advantage.
Well, and even back then, people were already trying to figure this out.
Right.
What made some people stand out? Those who just drew others in.
They just had that id factor.
Exactly. That something special that made them magnetic.
So let's break it down.
Okay.
What is personal magnetism? The author defines it as this power, this energy that lets someone attract and influence others.
Interesting.
But here's the cool part.
Yeah.
He says we all have it.
To some degree.
Yes. To some degree, it's not just for like celebrities or politicians.
Right. Yeah.
It's in everyone.
And what I find fascinating is that he doesn't just see it as mental.
Oh.
It's physical, too.
Okay.
He describes two poles to our magnetic personality, the mental and the physical.
Two poles, so like a magnet.
Yeah, think of it like a light bulb.
Okay, a light bulb.
Your mental pole is the color of the light it gives off, and the physical pole is the wattage.
Okay.
How strong that light shines.
So if my mental pole is kind of dim
Yeah.
because I'm stressed or negative,
Right.
even if I have a strong physical presence, my light won't be attractive.
Exactly. The two work together.
Interesting.
Your thoughts, beliefs, emotions, they all create mental energy.
Oh, wow.
Imagine it was a radio signal you're always broadcasting.
I like that.
People pick up on it whether you know it or not.
That makes sense. I've totally felt that vibe from people.
Yeah.
Some energize you, others just drain you.
And that's where the physical pole comes in.
Okay.
Atkinson thought the nervous system was huge in this.
Really?
Not just for moving your body, but as a generator of energy that affects others.
So it's not about being like super buff,
Not necessarily.
but how our nervous systems work.
It's a different way of thinking about your body.
I never thought of it that way.
His big idea was that these two poles, to be truly magnetic, they need to be in harmony.
In harmony.
Like a car needing both fuel and a good engine to run smoothly.
Okay, that's a good analogy.
So how do we boost this magnetism then?
Right, are we stuck with what we're born with?
Well, he gave some interesting techniques.
Okay, tell me.
He believed we could all increase our nerve force.
Nerve force.
It's just about learning to tap into it.
So what's the secret?
The first step might surprise you.
Okay.
It starts with breathing.
Breathing.
Not just any breathing, though.
Oh.
It's the recuperative breath, something we do naturally after stress.
Hmm.
But we can learn to do it consciously. It starts with a long, slow sigh, releasing all that tension. Then slow, rhythmic inhales and exhales.
Wait, so just changing how I breathe boost my energy?
It can be surprisingly powerful.
I'm trying it right now.
Give it a try. Take that deep breath in.
Okay.
And slowly let it all out.
Mm.
Feel that relaxation.
I do. It's like hitting reset.
And then Atkinson suggested pairing this with what he called tensing exercises.
Tensing.
Like stretching after sitting for a long time.
Right.
He believed these movements helped circulate that fresh nerve force.
So we're breathing in that fresh energy,
Yeah.
then using these exercises to move it around.
Exactly.
Like a tune-up for our system. It's so cool how he connects the physical and mental.
He was ahead of his time on the mind-body connection.
And that's just the physical side.
Right.
We also need to cultivate the mental magnetism, the color of that light.
Can't just be glowing brightly.
Right.
You gotta be glowing with the right kind of energy.
So how do we shape that mental magnetism?
It starts with taking stock of your mental landscape.
Oh, like an inventory.
Yeah. What thoughts and emotions are you dwelling on?
Right.
What stories are you telling yourself? Are they empowering or draining?
It's like checking your mental diet.
Exactly.
Making sure you're feeding your mind good stuff.
You need to feed the qualities you want to project.
Okay.
Confidence, optimism, kindness.
By surrounding myself with good people.
Inspiring people, stories, ideas.
And starve the negative stuff.
Just like a real diet.
Doubt, fear, all that.
It's not pretending the negative doesn't exist.
Right.
It's shifting your focus, choosing what gets your energy.
That's actually really empowering.
It gives you control, the quality of your mental magnetism.
Yeah.
It's a reflection of your inner world.
Wow.
What you focus on grows, so choose wisely.
This is all making so much sense.
Good.
But Atkinson didn't stop there, did he?
Oh, no.
He talked about even more advanced techniques.
He did. He had some really interesting ideas.
I'm ready to hear about those.
Well, let's give you and our listeners a moment to digest all this first.
Okay, good idea.
We'll dive into those advanced techniques in the next part of our deep dive.
Welcome back to Becoming Ultimate Masters. We're picking up where we left off, diving deeper into this whole personal magnetism thing with Theron Q. Dumont's book. We've covered the basics, the two poles of our magnetic personality.
The mental and physical, right?
Yeah. And how to boost them with things like that recuperative breath.
And the tensing exercises.
Exactly. We even talk about shaping our mental magnetism, being mindful of what thoughts we're feeding.
It's like choosing what we eat, but for our minds.
Right. But I'm ready for those advanced techniques you mentioned.
He gets into some more, let's say, bold techniques.
Okay, bold. I like it. What did he have up his sleeve?
One that stands out is what he called the direct flash.
The direct flash.
Yeah.
Sounds intense, like shooting energy beams from my eyes.
Not quite, but it does involve focusing your mental energy.
Okay.
Combined with your physical magnetism, and you direct it towards someone.
Like with an intention.
Exactly. It's about commanding attention, making your presence felt.
So like amplifying my signal, making it impossible to ignore.
That's a good way to put it.
Could you give an example? How would someone use this direct flash?
Well, Atkinson tells a story about one of his students using it to get a professor's attention during a lecture.
Oh, interesting.
The professor was distracted, and the student wanted to ask a question. So he focused his energy, used this direct flashes technique.
And
almost immediately, the professor turned to him, acknowledged him.
wow, so it's like mentally tapping someone on the shoulder.
Yeah, you could say that.
But isn't that kind of manipulative?
That's a good point. And it is important to stress that any technique for influencing others,
Yeah.
it has to be used responsibly, ethically.
Of course.
Atkinson himself stressed that using personal magnetism for good, not for selfish or harmful purposes.
Good to know, especially with these advanced techniques. But the direct flash isn't the only one, is it? What about that positive aura you mentioned?
Right, that's a bit different.
Okay, how so?
It's less about a targeted burst of energy and more about cultivating a consistent, positive mental state that radiates outward.
So I'm like surrounded by this good vibe field.
You could say that. It draws people in.
It's like those people who just light up a room when they walk in.
Exactly.
They have this warmth, this energy that you just want to be around.
Atkinson believed that by focusing on qualities like confidence, optimism, kindness,
Yeah,
you naturally create this magnetic aura.
that attracts good things.
Positive experiences, relationships, all of that.
So it's not about faking it till you make it,
No, it has to be genuine.
but actually cultivating these positive qualities inside.
That's the key.
That's pretty powerful. Does he give any examples of this positive aura in action?
He tells a story about a shy artist in Paris.
Okay.
She struggled to get her work noticed, even though she was really talented.
Why not?
She felt insecure, doubted herself,
I see.
but she started practicing this technique, focusing on her self-belief, confidence.
And what happened?
As her inner state shifted, people started noticing her work.
Wow, so her talent could finally shine through.
It's amazing how a shift in our mental attitude can really change things outside of us.
It really is. But let's be real. Not everyone is going to use their magnetism for good, right?
Unfortunately, that's true.
Some people might try to manipulate others, take advantage.
He does address that.
Oh, good. What does he say?
He calls it magnetic self-defense.
Magnetic self-defense.
Yeah.
Now, that's something I want to learn about. How do we protect ourselves from those energy vampires?
The key, he says, is mental denial.
Mental denial. Like just saying no to bad vibes.
It's more about consciously rejecting the influence of that negative energy.
Okay.
Building a mental shield, recognizing when someone's trying to manipulate you, drain you.
And then what?
Refusing to give them your energy.
So if someone's using their charm to get me to do something I don't want to do,
Right.
I can use this mental denial to protect myself?
It's about setting boundaries, not letting yourself be swayed by things that don't align with your values.
That's amazing. It's like I have more control than I thought.
You do. It takes practice, though.
Of course.
Pay attention to how you feel around different people.
Okay.
Do they energize you or drain you? Are you easily influenced or do you stand your ground?
That's such good advice. We can choose who and what we let influence us.
Absolutely.
This whole conversation has been so eye-opening. I'm seeing personal magnetism everywhere now.
It's fascinating stuff. And to think it's all from a book over a century old.
I know. It shows these principles are timeless. They still apply today.
They really do.
But we're not done yet, are we? You mentioned there was one final concept Atkinson talked about.
That's right. And it's maybe the most intriguing one of all.
Oh!
It involves the power of physical touch to amplify your magnetism.
Physical touch. Okay, now I'm really intrigued.
We'll uncover that in the final part of our deep dive.
Welcome back to Becoming Ultimate Masters. We're about to reveal the final piece of this personal magnetism puzzle.
The grand finale.
Exactly. From Dumont's book, of course.
Always got to give credit to the source.
Right. So we've learned about those mental and physical poles of magnetism,
Mm-hmm.
boosting our nerve forces,
Right.
even some magnetic self-defense tactics.
Got to protect that energy.
But you mentioned one more thing.
I did.
Something about physical touch.
It's called corporeal magnetism.
Okay, corporeal magnetism.
Yeah, it's about consciously using touch to amplify that magnetic energy.
Sounds almost magical. Are we talking like transferring energy just by touching someone?
It's not magic, but it is about connection.
Okay, connection.
Think about a handshake.
Okay.
Have you ever shaken someone's hand and felt like a surge of energy?
Oh, yeah. Or the
Yeah.
opposite, where it's just limp.
Exactly. Some handshakes leave you feeling drained.
It's more than just a greeting.
Right. It can be a way to share your magnetic energy, make a stronger impression.
Interesting.
Atkinson thought other touches could do this too, like a hand on the shoulder.
I've noticed some speakers do that when they're emphasizing a point.
Maybe they're tapping into corporeal magnetism without realizing it.
It does add something, like another layer to the connection.
Combining touch with their words, their intention.
But just like with the other techniques, there's got to be ethical considerations here, right?
Huge ones. This corporeal magnetism has to be used responsibly, respectfully.
Of course, it's not about forcing anything on anyone.
It's about enhancing communication, building rapport.
Not manipulation.
Exactly. Got to be mindful of boundaries, use touch that feels natural, appropriate.
So it's genuine, supportive, never making someone uncomfortable.
Right. You got it.
This whole deep dive has been incredible. From the basics of magnetism to these advanced techniques.
It's a lot to take in.
It is, but I feel like I have this whole new toolkit now.
That's what we're hoping for.
For improving how I interact with people, making a positive impact.
And remember, this power of personal magnetism, it's already inside you.
That's a great point.
It's about awareness, cultivating it, and using it intentionally.
So to everyone listening to Becoming Ultimate Masters, thank you for joining us on this journey into personal magnetism.
We hope you found it as fascinating as we have.
And empowering too.
If you want to keep exploring this topic or other life-changing ideas,
Definitely check us out.
you can visit www.ultimasters.org coaching.
Or send a message on WhatsApp at +256 771 324 119.
We love hearing from you.
Share this episode with anyone who might benefit.
And subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into personal growth and success.
Check back daily for a new episode. Until then, keep striving to become the ultimate masters of your own lives.